Sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this.
It allowed Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense more than just offense.
Gervonta Davis is taking his training to an entirely new level as he prepares for his upcoming showdown with Jake Paul. Pushing his limits, Davis has been sparring with heavyweights, refusing to hold back despite the significant size difference. He's been trading powerful shots with much larger opponents, showcasing his intensity and determination. In one particularly intense session, Davis landed such a thunderous punch that the heavyweight he was sparring with was reportedly left visibly shaken.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this.
Gervonta Davis is making waves once again, this time by dominating heavyweight boxers during intense sparring sessions. Known for his explosive power in the lightweight and super lightweight divisions, Davis is showing that size doesn't limit his strength. Recent footage shows him landing sharp, fast combinations that keep even bigger opponents on edge. His ability to control the pace, dodge counters, and respond with precision highlights how seriously he's training. Every move reflects his focus, not just on power, but on building the stamina needed to face larger, stronger fighters. It's clear he's preparing thoroughly for his upcoming clash with Jake Paul.
Look like you're playing pool with a short stick. Fall in between them, Punch when he punch, yeah. Punch when he punch. Punch when he punch. Yep. They ain't stopped firing. We slowed down. Now we're going to commence firing again. That's what we do. We reload and come back. Yeah, you ain't got to get close, Tank, because we know you're scared to get close. Get close, Tank. Keep rolling, Cal. All the way down the road. Come to me, baby.
Despite the clear size difference between Davis and many of his sparring partners, Tank continues to push himself against much heavier fighters. These sessions aren't just about power. They're focused on precision. He's working on managing distance, controlling tempo, and keeping his trademark explosiveness even when under pressure. His team shared that this training helps him sharpen angles and timing, both crucial for dealing with Jake Paul's unorthodox style. Knowing that Jake's biggest advantage is size, Davis is using these heavyweight sessions to eliminate any intimidation early on. It's a strategy built on discipline and confidence, preparing him for whatever comes when the bell rings.
Here's a clip of Gervonta Tank Davis releasing footage of him training and sparring with a heavyweight ahead of his showdown with YouTube sensation turned professional boxer Jake Paul that's set to take place November 14th in Atlanta, Georgia at the State Farm Arena. Tank Davis is 5'4" and he weighs in at 135. His last fight, he actually was 133 pounds. Jake Paul is 6'1" with a 76-inch arm reach, and he weighed in at 199 pounds his last fight. And fight before that, he weighed in at 224 pounds. Gervonta Tank Davis has a 67-inch arm reach. This is why this fight has to be ruled an exhibition and not a real professional boxing match, because no boxing commission will sanction it. Let me know what y'all think about this. As you see, Tank Davis is using and working on movement. Let me know. I'm gone. Peace.
Former UFC star and fight analyst Chael Sonnen has made it clear that Gervonta Davis is carrying the weight of boxing's credibility in his upcoming bout. Sonnen stated that while Jake Paul has brought attention to the sport, it's now up to Davis to remind fans what real boxing is all about. For Sonnen, this fight goes beyond entertainment. It's a statement. Davis aims to prove that technical skill, sharp timing, and years of experience in the ring still outweigh social media fame. Sonnen confidently added that Tank's mission is to cut through the circus surrounding Jake's career and let his fists deliver the truth. A knockout, in this case, wouldn't just be a win, it would be a message to those who've forgotten what elite boxing truly looks like.
Which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless, like, these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. We had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. We were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So, we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched him weigh in, I want to say it was like 8 pounds.
As fight week approaches, confirmed footage and reports reveal that Gervonta Davis has been sparring with heavyweight fighters in his training camp. These aren't light sessions. They're full-intensity simulations designed to push Davis beyond his limits. According to his trainers, the purpose is clear: make the actual fight feel easier by facing greater challenges in preparation. The size and strength of the heavyweights force Davis to refine his defense, improve head movement, and master how to generate power efficiently against bigger bodies. Each round boosts his confidence, proving that his timing and precision can overcome sheer size. It's an unconventional yet highly effective strategy, underscoring just how seriously Davis is treating Jake Paul as a real threat.
There you go. There you go. You guys see everything come. Everything's come.
Renowned boxing trainer Teddy Atlas has spoken out, praising Gervonta Davis as one of the most powerful and skilled fighters in the sport today. While some fans point to Jake Paul's size advantage, Atlas insists it won't matter once the fight starts. He believes Davis's experience against top-tier opponents gives him a clear edge that Jake simply can't match. According to Atlas, Davis has faced every kind of fighter: counterpunchers, pressure fighters, taller opponents, and defensive specialists. In contrast, Jake's resume lacks true boxing veterans. For those wondering, what if Jake lands one big shot? Atlas says they're missing the bigger picture. Davis's ability to adapt under pressure, he explains, is what truly separates elite fighters from those who step into the ring for show.
You do have one guy who, yeah, he's smaller, but he's a top fighter, he can punch, and he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger. What if he hits him on the chin? What if he hits him on the chin? It'll wind up selling. And that's what'll wind up selling it. The what if. What if Tank makes him do a cha-cha? He hits him on the chin, and Jake Paul, we're gonna find out if he can dance. Whoa, 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 you know, do the cha-cha. That's what's gonna sell it. And you can't argue that what if. You can't. I know I get to places that other people won't go and everything else, that just dismiss stuff because it's easier to do that, it's safer to do that. You don't have the bows and arrows coming at you from people that argue with you because you did that, but I don't care. I've had bows and arrows my whole life. I don't care. But that's true. That what if? What if this guy who is a real good puncher, who is one of the best fighters in the world right now, what if he hits him? What if he makes a miss and he counters him? Or he jumps up in the air. Right! And he hits him. Sid Terrace. No, Sid Terrace was a great fighter. No, not the 1700s, but years ago. And Customato told me he loves Sid Terrace. He said, Teddy, he used to jump up in the air and hit you with 3 jabs. I said, whoa, man, Sid Terrace. All right. Anyway, look, I can't finish without saying that it did invoke some memories and thoughts that we've been here before in a different way, where Jake Paul's brother fought Mayweather. That's not forget. And I'm not saying I like that either. I mean, first of all, Mayweather was past his prime. He was already retired. He was older, everything, but he's still the great Mayweather. And Mayweather was fighting a guy, what was it, 50-pound difference, 60-pound difference, whatever it was, and that size made a difference. It allowed Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense more than just offense.
Sports analyst Max Kellerman offered a more personal perspective on Gervonta Davis's motivation, suggesting that Tank accepted the fight with Jake Paul partly to secure long-term financial stability and spend more time with his family. After years of intense training camps and title defenses, Davis was reportedly looking for a bout that could deliver both excitement and a substantial payday, enough to give him some breathing room. Kellerman noted that Davis has been thinking about slowing down his career pace, prioritizing family life and mental well-being. In his view, the Jake Paul fight isn't just a business move, it's a transitional moment. It's a chance for Davis to enjoy the rewards of his hard-earned success, while reminding the world that he remains one of boxing's most dangerous and skilled fighters when the gloves come on.
You got a guy like Gervonta, who I personally think has been checked out for way longer than this last fight. I think he was checked out prior to the Roach fight. I thought this was all going to be in the works, where he was supposed to beat the 16-1 Roach and then go on to fight Jake Paul and then call it a career, because I think the people around him understood there wasn't much left in the tank for him in terms of his want or his desire to be here. He did an interview with Dan Canobio about 18 months ago where he was like, yeah, man, I just kind of want to raise my family. I don't know how much left of boxing for me. I don't want to see a therapist. I want to, I need to, but like, I don't want to take away from my fighting. But I think it's time for me to do stuff like that. So I think the writing's been on the wall for Tank for a while. So that draw was kind of just like, I was on the way out anyway. I don't need to go back in there. And I said it at the end of that fight. I'm like, there's no way we see that rematch. He was so uncomfortable in that ring with Roach. He doesn't want to feel that again. He showed that night. So I'm not surprised that fight's not happening. I'm not even surprised he's fighting Jake Paul now. It's a cash.
During the press tour, analysts Chris Mannix and Sergio Mora observed the stark contrast in personalities between the two fighters. As expected, Jake Paul took on the role of promoter, loud, charismatic, and focused on building hype. Gervonta Davis, in contrast, remained quiet, composed, and clearly uninterested in the verbal back and forth. Mannix noted that while Jake knows how to sell a fight, Davis knows how to win one. Mora added that Tank's silence isn't a weakness, it's a sign of focus. Both analysts agreed that when the lights dim and the talking ends, it will be Davis's skill and raw power that do the talking, far louder than any words ever could.
And even though Jake Paul tried to egg him on and try to goad Gervonta Davis on, he's dealing with somebody that is not a quick-witted, thinker. He's not a quick-witted speaker. Tank Davis is explosive in the ring. He's fast and powerful in the ring. He's charismatic inside the ring when he's punching. But when you put a microphone in front of him, he's not articulate. He doesn't know how to quickly respond to people. He stutters a lot. He does more stuttering than talking. So Gervonta Davis in front of a microphone is not going to sell. So Tank Davis shouldn't be put in a podium like that. He should have speakers for him. He should have someone talking for him. He should have a mouthpiece. Tank Davis is not going to sell this fight, and Jake Paul knows it. That's the reason he kept throwing jabs at him. He tried to get Tank out of his shell. Tank's not quick verbally enough. He's not quick-witted. He's not quick with the tongue. So in order for him to sell this fight, he's going to have an adversary that can spit something back. Like, for instance, Chavez Jr., he didn't have that quick-witted response, but he had the backing, he had the loyal following. And Chavez Jr., like many Mexicans, don't need to speak because they do all their fighting in the ring, and people know that. Tank Davis, I don't know, man. He didn't look good in his last fight. He's not fighting the killers in his division. People are getting off that Tank train, and we know that he's had his issues outside the ring. The love's not there anymore. Tank Davis is losing a lot of passion, a lot of followers, and people aren't buying this circus that Jake Paul's trying to sell. And I'm glad that people are getting off this train. The commission in Georgia got off this damn train. That's why they had to move this fight to Florida, where anything could happen.
Former world champion Tim Bradley revealed that Gervonta Davis had limited options before agreeing to the Jake Paul fight. According to Bradley, Davis originally targeted a rematch with Lamont Roach, but those negotiations fell through. With few major fights available and increasing pressure from promoters, the Jake Paul bout emerged as the most realistic opportunity. While some may see it as a risky business move, Bradley pointed out that it offers Davis massive exposure and a significant financial reward. He stressed that fans often overlook the behind-the-scenes factors, management decisions, timing, and broadcast politics, all of which shape these choices. Regardless of how the fight came together, Bradley believes Davis will make the most of it and remind everyone why he's a world-class boxer.
You know, I do. I'm not making no excuses for Tank at all, but this is just my perspective, man. Tank had no other choice but to do this fight, man. He had no other choice. You know, he was in training for that Lamont Rose fight, and, you know, then the covers got pulled off, you know, and then this fight came about. You know, this is an inside thing, man. I swear, man, I'm telling y'all, this is an inside thing. You know, this is something that Al, PBC wanted Canelo to do, you know, because this is how they eat. This is how they gonna eat. This is how they gonna recoup, you know. As you know, PBC, they got no legs to stand on, man. You know, money going out, not enough money coming in. They got to spend their own bread, you know, for everything, you know, for everything. So, you know, they need money coming in. And their guy, Canelo, left. He with Turkey now. They wanted Canelo to do this fight. And now Tank is obligated to do this fight, man. Again, to save PBC. I promise y'all, man. I'm telling you. You know, Tank was already signed up to fight Roach rematch. He was already signed up, you know. You can just tell, man. I can tell, you know. Yesterday, listening to the press conference, I saw, like, I don't know what it was. It was something with Jalen Love, and it's like a secret. I don't know what that is. It's a secret, though.
After the press conference, some fans began to question whether Gervonta Davis was fully invested in his fight with Jake Paul. His quiet demeanor, distant expression, and lack of response to Jake's provocations sparked mixed reactions. While some viewed it as a sign of intense focus, others interpreted it as possible disinterest. The noticeable size difference between the two fighters added to concerns about fairness and competitiveness. Many expected Tank to be more vocal, but instead he appeared calm and detached, perhaps deliberately saving his energy for fight night. However, those close to Davis insist that his silence shouldn't be mistaken for apathy. It's part of his mental preparation, a conscious decision to avoid distractions and focus only on what matters, winning the fight, not the war of words.
Jake Paul legitimately cooked Gervonta Davis in that press conference, and I really don't know how to feel about that. And to be honest with you, I still don't understand how boxing even allowed this to be made. Like, I don't. Like, dog, this is not an overstatement. Like, literally one of the core pillars holding up boxing is, like, this literal, like, fake superiority complex that they have over literally every other combat sport, despite literally being the least effective main combat sport there is. Brother, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, brother, I put judo over I put boxing. In terms of practicality of combat, oh yeah, 100%. Brother, if Jake Paul makes it competitive against Gervonta Davis, I'm looking at this like, brother. Oh, well, weight difference, brother. Gervonta Davis has been training his entire life. I'm sorry, bro. It's bad enough that the fact that if this was under any other combat sport, this would literally be like one of the most one-sided matchups of all time. And it wouldn't be in favor of Davis. No, dog, if you did this under an MMA rule set, oh my gosh, bro, Paul cooks Gervonta. It's not close at all. Like round one finish level. Like, understand this, Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul is taking place in literally the only combat sport where Davis should win. I'm still shocked that they allowed it to be made. Because, like, there's no upside. If Jake Paul beats Gervonta Davis, now we're kind of looking like, wait a minute. What? Like, brother, don't forget. I still think it's a horrible look that Tyson Fury couldn't finish Francis Ngannou. That is so bad. Well, Francis Ngannou's a great boxer. Francis Ngannou, no joke, is one of the worst boxers to ever be in the UFC. He just has absurd power. Now, look at the technique of Francis Ngannou. It's not that good. It's carried by power. Like, going into it, like, I'm hyped. But it's also, I'm looking at this like, bro, Gervonta has to finish, bro.
While Jake Paul has often been criticized for exploiting boxing's traditions, some critics are now turning their attention to Gervonta Davis. They argue that by agreeing to fight Jake, Tank may be endorsing the influencer boxing trend he once spoke against. Fans hoping Davis would focus on legitimate contenders feel disappointed, seeing this matchup as more about entertainment than building a lasting legacy. However, others defend his choice, noting that boxing has always mixed sport with spectacle. For Davis, it's about controlling the narrative and proving that even in this crossover era, skill and authenticity still matter. If he dominates Jake Paul, it could turn the criticism back on his doubters, and reaffirm the balance between showmanship and true boxing craft.
Jake Paul is not the problem with boxing. Tank Davis is. Jake Paul's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. He's a Disney Channel kid, YouTube star turned boxer. Of course, he's gonna make these stupid spectacle matchups. He doesn't care about his career, his legacy, or the sport. Meanwhile, we have Tank Davis, the heir apparent to Floyd Mayweather and Adrian Broner, who has real talent. And if he was actually consistent in the ring and was willing to get in with some of the best fighters in the world, he could be top 3 pound for pound best fighters in the sport. But instead, Tank just wants to hold up his division for 5 years and make a mockery of the sport, especially with this fight.
With the stakes higher than ever, all eyes are on Gervonta Davis to prove why he's one of boxing's elite. Don't miss the fight. Subscribe, follow, and stay tuned as the battle between skill and spectacle unfolds. This isn't just a fight, it's a moment that could redefine boxing's future. Will Davis silence the doubters and reclaim the sport's honor? Join the conversation and watch history in the making. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Can Gervonta Davis show the world what real boxing looks like against Jake Paul? Drop your predictions, share this story, and get ready for fight night.